All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It is Wednesday. You know what that means? It is Wanderlust Wednesday, and we got a big one today. I told you guys we were going to do this, and I am coming through with my promise. We're doing another edition of heavy music of bands maybe you never heard before, or if you're into it, maybe you forgot about. So buckle up, people. Buckle up. You may have noticed a couple of my episodes were early in the week were short and sweet. This one is not going to be short and sweet. I think I have five bands to try to get out here. So let's get cooking. Gotta stretch. All right. We good. All right. First and foremost, easy softball, right? We're doing the band Helmet. Who remembers Helmet, right? Alternative metal band, New York City, 1989 they were formed. They had 8 studio albums, but 3 of them were the most successful, with one in particular. The singer of this band left Band of Susans, who was an alternative band. They formed this band, and they got signed to Interscope Records. Rumor is they got a big amount of money to sign. Someone said $1 million. I don't know. We'll see about that. Someone needs to tell me if that's true or not. But their most successful album, and the one that, if you know any, is basically Meantime, this one, right? And it went to number 68. I mean, it was kind of a hit, and it was, it was decent. It was all over MTV. This video was all over MTV. I mean, Beavis and Butthead also played it. It sold 2 million copies, by the way. But this is just the driving, and it's got a catchy like vocals to it. Anyway, just tell me if you remember this song from 1992, Unsung and Meantime. Those are the two, but Unsung is their most famous song. Meantime is the other one. Those 2 songs are the ones you need to know from Helmet. They had another album after that, Betty, that was pretty good. Worth it. But those are the 2. Do you remember that? Helmet, number 1. Number 2, this band Ambien. I stumbled on this at a record store, at Music Outlet, when I was working there, and I don't know, it was probably a promotional record that came out, and we listened to it. And this is called Fate of a Dreamer from 2001, and it's the project of this Dutch singer, writer, producer named Arjen Lucanson. Probably Arjen, who knows? I might not get that right. But he has this famous for this side project, Arion, not to be confused with Ambien. And it's this that band is like progressive metal rock opera, right? And he's just famous for that. But this was another one of his projects. And the only single to come off this record is called Cold Metal. That's where I come in. I heard this for the first time, and I was like, what is this? This is amazing. It actually samples one of his other band, Arion, songs called Into the Black Hole. And there's a singer on it, a female singer. Her name is Astrid Vanderveen. Sorry. And she is 14 years old when she sang this. 14. Just let that soak in for a minute when you hear this song. There's a lot on this album. It's not just heavy. It's heavy stuff. It's got acoustic guitar, electric guitar, flute, viola, synthesizer, something called the Union pipes, which is the Irish bagpipes. Anyway, you can check out some of their stuff, but the song you need to know is Cold Metal, and tell me what you think of that song. All right, next up, we are doing Henry Rollins. Do you guys remember Henry Rollins? Henry Rollins Band. Henry Rollins is an actor, a singer, a presenter, a comedian, an advocate. He's, you might know him from some TV shows or movies. He's an American. He's from D.C. He's 60 years old. Famous for fronting the band Black Flag, the hardcore punk band from 81 to 86 out of Hermosa Beach, California. Basically the first hardcore band there ever was. The grandfathers of hardcore punk. A real big deal. Just that band alone is a big deal. The band broke up. He started his own record label and his own publishing company so he could do spoken word stuff. You can see the poster over there, Rollins. We got it right there. a box set of his spoken word, and he would do a lot of spoken word stuff if you check that stuff out. But then he formed the Rollins band from 87 to 2003. He had radio shows. He was on 120 Minutes, Jackass, Sons of Anarchy. He was in the movie Heat. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But he's, you know, and he auditioned to be Negan, and on Walking Dead would have been a good one. Anyway, you got to get to some of his records, right? Some of his records, basically, 2 songs you need to know. Low Self-Opinion, that's the one that I'm talking about. That's my favorite right there from 1992, the single from Rollins band album End of Silence. This is some good stuff right here. He's got this just powerful, strong voice, just so good. And then the one that maybe you know, if you know anything, his most popular songs from the Rollins band is Liar. That one got some radio play from the album Wait from 1994. So Rollins band, check out those 2 songs. Dig deeper if you want. There's a lot of stuff here. All right, we're going to keep going. Next band up is Sepultura. What? Sepultura, Mark? You listen to Sepultura? The thrash metal band? What? Yeah, for like a year I was into this total deep, heavy stuff. This is a metal band out of Brazil, formed in 1984. These brothers, Max and Igor Cavalera. Max and Igor. Awesome, right? And they are part of that second wave of thrash metal that they talk about, and then they, you know, Pantera, all these other bands, right? But they sold 20 million records worldwide, 3 million in the U.S. I mean, they were a pretty big deal. When you talk about interviews with them and what they had to say, you know, they started off listening to their usual stuff like everyone else did as teenagers: Zeppelin, Sabbath, Deep Purple, Van Halen, Iron Maiden, AC/DC, Judas Priest, all those ones. But then someone introduced them to a cassette by a band called Venom, which I can't claim to know much about. They said they heard Venom and they were like, we're never looking back. We're not listening to Maiden. That was too... Iron Maiden is just like elevator music to us now. We're going to do something heavier. And so that's exactly what they did. And they were a big deal right out of the gate. Their first couple albums got a lot of traction. They ended up touring with their second album. They toured with some huge bands: King Diamond, Napalm Death, Obituary, Slayer, Typo Negative, a favorite here in the cave. And so they were already a big deal when this album that I'm going to talk about came out. 1993, Chaos AD. That's the album that I bought, that I was into. There were 3 singles off this record: Refuse Resist, Territory, and Slave New World. But Refuse Resist is where it's all at for me. That's just less death metal and more groove metal. I don't even know how to explain it. Anyway, groove metal. Check it out. Check out Refuse Resist from Sepultura. All right, last. We're going all right. We're at 8 minutes last. The band Death Angel. Another thrash metal band out of San Francisco, formed from 1982, and they have 9 studio albums, and they finished up their career in 91, and then they regathered in 2001. A very important Bay Area, again, second wave of thrash. They talk about them being part of the godfathers of that movement, and they were doing stuff. They were opening for their peers at the time: Megadeth, Metallica, Slayer, Testament, Overkill, Merciful Fate. They were right there in the middle of it. They just didn't break in the United States. They really did not break. They broke in Europe, all over Europe. They did a nice job there. But we're going to their third album, Act 3, 1990, their only album for Geffen Records, David Geffen, the only one. It's their last record before they break up for 10-year hiatus, considered probably one of their best albums. And how did I get a hold of this? It was just a sample tape at the record store, showed up. It was just one of the ones we had to play in the store, and it had this song, and it had Danzig on there, and that's when I started going crazy for this kind of music. It's got this album is a little theme here, not quite as heavy as the first 2, a little bit of, if you want, prog, hard rock, metal punk stuff that's a little more accessible. This song was on Headbangers Ball, and it just didn't break, but they did play it on Headbangers Ball, and that is the song Seemingly Endless Time. Love this song. It's a good one. All right, we're at 9:40. That's the best I could do with these 5 bands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? All right, those are your choices today. That was fast. I'm talking fast. You got a lot to listen to. Tell me what you think about all this heavy music today. Are you into it? click on it, give it a listen, give me the feedback, tell me what you think. But this is bringing me back to when I was into some real heavy stuff. All right. Enjoy your Wednesday. That's it. We're at 10 minutes. Have a good one. And as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.